Hey, good morning. This is Christy Mattoon from Rewire coming at you again. I want to talk about something that actually was posted as a response to one of my videos the other day, just because I found it super interesting. And your comments always give me pause for inter-reflection, and I hope they do for other people reading them. I know, years of watching YouTube videos, you're always kind of scope down through what other people have said, and it always kind of made me stop and give you pause, give you reason to stop and think about things or try and understand things differently. And even on my own videos, I get the chance to do that, which I think is fantastic. And so I thank people who respond, no matter what your response is. I thank you for that. So what I want this video to be about is about letting it go. Just let it go, right? Be the duck, let the water roll off your back kind of idea. And this, particularly what it said, was at the vibration of choice and acceptance that not everything is you. Not everything is you. We are co-creators, helping people take care of responsibility, letting go, not your responsibility to change others. It's not your responsibility to change others. Even in love, your people only change when they want to. And that is so true. People will only change when they want to, or when they've reached a level of consciousness that allows them to, right? It goes on to say, if people are causing an environment that is not co-creating, let go. And I've let go of a lot of things, a lot of people over a lot of years that were not co-creating in a manner that was in flux or in flow, right, with who I was at the time. And it just, right, it caused too much of a rift. And then what do, right? Life just becomes too tumultuous. It's too much turmoil and too much chaos in the system. And so, people tend to go their own ways, and that's fine. My response and understanding to this whole thing, and I put it on there so you could read it, is that, what she said is truth, and it works in a level of consciousness, like I just now said. And in family, right, the idea of letting go, like you have to let people move and do what they want. And understand what I was talking about in that video isn't like me trying to hold them into a state of being. Like, years of releasing and letting my own stuff go has brought me to this place of just wanting to be in peace and just wanting to be in light. So what I wrote on here was, this is good truth, and in family even more so. The ties that bind us are part of the great laws, right? They're part of the universal laws. The ties that bind us in family are one arena, and then the ties that bind us in consciousness are a whole bigger set of bonds, right? Of ties. And I wrote, even so, we are in the light. Even so, we are the light, right? Letting go means accepting no separation. Letting go means accepting no separation. And earthly letting go means walk away, right? So there's a little levels of understanding here. If somebody says, let it go, right? You put it down, you walk away from it, whatever it is. Basically releasing it, right? A light-driven response then means what? If I'm in the light, what is a light-driven response to let it go? I think the whole thing is just such an oxymoron, and I think it was bad teaching from the onset, this idea of let it go and walk away from it. The problem isn't separate from me, is it? Is it separate from me, or is it me? We do co-create moving through this existence. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. And I ask myself, where am I in this situation? Right? And everything that's going on around me, I have to stop and ask myself, where am I in this? What is my role as a light bearer? What is my role as a light bearer in this situation? Where am I bringing peace to the situation? Where am I trying to, whatever is happening, where am I trying to do whatever I'm doing in this essence of being part of the light? I go on to say, silence becomes profound as I say nothing and watch change. right? And we're taught to like speak your truth and let it go and all of these kind of things. But sometimes silence is truly right in a state of knowledge or of wisdom, possibly. Silence is one of the better options, right? If somebody is in your arena causing mayhem and dysfunction and you sit there pressing against it, you're causing more resistance in the situation, right? So I cause a lot of resistance in my own situations. And I'm good enough at this point with my own self to understand and to be able to laugh at it, right? Because sometimes silence and laughter, that's all I got. So silence becomes profound as I say nothing. In my humanness and need for a hug, I speak and I rant. That's what I put on here. And I find wisdom in friends like you. So I appreciate everybody who writes comments on these things. And I am deeply grateful for your responses. But I do think that the idea of letting go is such an oxymoron, because if we are co-creators, right, and a person isn't at a level of your co-creation, our vibrational difference, right, is what you're feeling and is what you're watching play out. But if every time I run into somebody in a vibrational discord or difference from me, and I decide I'm just going to walk away from that, which is fine. We have free will choice, do what you do. I don't think it's the right response every time, right? I do not think it's the right response every time. We are here with the people we're here with for whatever reason we're here with them for, and the continual walking away from, which is something I have seen as a pattern, not only in my life, but in my family's life, right? And other family members. And it's so interesting to me when you sit back and go, that's how that works. Like, do you just throw it all down and walk away from it? Or do you stand up in the middle of it and say, okay, where am I in this? Right? True reprogramming of the system requires you to stand in the face of the darkness. It requires you to get bold enough that you can stand there and peer into it and go, okay, what? Where am I in here? And then move through it, right? And we were taught in psychology to pick it apart and piece it out. And I don't think that's a good response either, because you get stuck in it when you do that. It's literally a finding the flow of energy through it and just moving through it. And you will end up in peace. You will end up in a whole different arena, a whole different sense when you activate your will inside of anything like this, and you're able to just peer into it and then move through it instead of just let it go. Because let it go doesn't address the symptoms. It doesn't address the emotions. It doesn't address who you are in the situation, right? It effectively allows you to set it down and walk away from it. And you might find peace for a little bit, but until you address it by walking into it with or without the person, with or without the issue, you have to put your face into it and say, okay, where was I in this and what was my role? And then you have to correct your system, correct you, right? You're not correcting them. We can't correct anybody else. We know that at this point. It just doesn't do it. But if I correct self, what happens? If I correct myself, then things start to change. Anyway, all right, I bless you. I thank you for being here as always. And I hope this made a difference. If it helps you, please share it. It might help somebody else. And I hope you have a blessed day.